And we are back.
Question mark.
Welcome back to the Content Swap Podcast. You are joined by Parker and
Aaliyah.
And if you're new to the Content Swap Podcast, this is maybe not the right episode to listen to because we're not going to be doing what we usually do for the Content Swap Podcast today. It's been a while since we've recorded, and now here we are finding the time to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah. Today's Memorial Day, and it's, I don't know. We got the day off. We're just kind of chilling.
Should explain why it took so long for us to
Yes.
record, and that's because I pushed out a little human.
Why would you do that? That sounds weird. What is that? Yes, we had a baby. Let me increase my gain. Oh, wow. Okay, now I sound way better. Yes, we had a baby, and a baby is what we have. There it is. He's right here.
Yep.
Anything to say? New baby.
Yep. It was quite the experience. 10 out of 10.
He's occupied at the moment. He can't
He is eating.
announce his introduction.
But yeah, pretty positive labor experience.
I think it was a very positive labor experience.
Postpartum recovery, a little rough, but overall couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
And he's wonderful.
Yeah. He's about 2 months old, so that means it's been well over 2 months since we last did this.
Yeah.
And they grow so quickly.
They do.
And he's very tall. He's like very tall. Like if he could, I imagine he's going to get taller before he can start walking, but I feel like he's already taller than some kids I see walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a long baby, but he's got tall parents. So.
Thanks. I like to think I'm somewhat tall, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm average height, probably.
We come from tall families.
We
as
do
well.
come from families with family members who are above 6 feet, yes.
Yes. So I imagine he'll be pretty dang tall.
Did you say giant?
Huh?
What?
I
I
said
thought-
dang, but then I stuttered and
I thought you said, I think he'll be pretty dang giant.
no, I said pretty dang tall.
No, I know, I'm just messing.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
I'm very confused.
We're recording a podcast, so I'm trying to make jokes. Anyway, yeah, and we love him. And he just took his first trip.
Yep. Went to DC.
Yeah, Washington, D.C.
From Wisconsin.
Not AC/DC. Yes, from Wisconsin, which is where we live. And we're about to move out of Wisconsin to
Germany.
Germany, where our one listener based in Germany will be very excited to hear that we are moving to Germany. We're not moving to Germany. We are moving to South Dakota, though.
Yes. Our dream state.
Now, let's see what else is there to discuss here?
I think we should spend this
Just
episode.
like chronological. Of
Oh,
just
you mean
how
of our
life's
life event?
been. Yeah.
I mean, literally,
What
my
do you-
life has been baby.
What do you
so
want to do? Yeah.
I think we should go over all the stuff that we've been watching and stuff since we've been on our parental leaves and.
Okay, and do we want to go chronological on that, or?
I don't know in which order I
Okay.
engaged with everything.
All right, I will let you go first. Just like you say one thing that you really like that you've engaged with recently, then
I
I'll
really
say
like,
something.
or can I just say the things?
Just okay. Do you want to like list things off? I mean, how do you want to do this?
Why don't I?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go back and forth because I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, and then I have things that we've done together, but we can say that for after.
Okay. I did not organize mine in that same way, but I can wing it.
Okay. So why don't we just go back and forth?
Okay.
All right. I'll start with, I have a few movies, but I'll start with just one of them. I recently watched a Netflix movie called Nonas. Nonas, I think is how you say it.
Nanas?
Nonas? No, I think it's Nonas. And it stars oh, forgive me, I have mom brain, so like
Vince Vaughn.
thank you. I like can't remember
Catherine
anything.
O'Hara, is she in that?
No.
Oh.
Vince
She's just in
Vaughn,
everything
Susan
now.
Sarandon, some other people. I'm not quite sure who they are.
Oh, Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. But it's basically a movie about this guy who kind of like works in construction. He just lost his grandma, I think, or yeah, his grandma. And he's really sad about it, but he got some like inheritance from her, and he decides to open up a restaurant where all of the chefs are Italian grandmothers, or nonas. And so he finds a few Italian grandmothers and they open up this restaurant. And yeah, it was pretty cute. It was sweet. It's a pretty simple movie. I feel like it's been a minute since I've watched a Vince Vaughn movie. I know he's come out with a few things, but
did he?
I mean, yeah. What was that like serial killer thing that he was in a movie or a show or something? I think it was a movie.
What do you call that? True Detective?
I don't remember. It's like where he like swapped bodies with a young girl.
What? He did a Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
With a young girl?
Yeah. That came
Serial
out like
killer?
a few years ago. Yeah.
The hot chick too?
No.
I mean, let's see. They're making a dodgeball too? What the heck? Is it called Bad Monkey?
No.
Is it called Tires?
No.
No. Queen Pins?
No.
Freaky. It's literally called Freaky. It's called Freaky.
I was like, I know it exists. I never saw it.
His character's
but...
name is The Butcher. So yes,
Yeah.
Freaky.
Okay, so yeah,
That came out in 2020. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I like have not watched a Vince Vaughn thing since I don't even know the last Vince Vaughn thing I watched.
I think the last Vince Vaughn thing I watched was Anchorman 2. Does that even count? Like, was he even in that
I was like,
movie?
was he like? I don't think
He was probably at the end of that movie. Couples Retreat.
Really?
4 Christmases. Yeah, I mean, man just hasn't. I mean, he's done movies.
I love all of the like Couples Retreat. I love I have to watch 4 Christmases every holiday season, but I just haven't watched any of his like recent stuff. So it was nice to see him again, and in this like as like a very sweet character.
He did an Apple TV Plus show where he plays a detective turned restaurant inspector in Key West, which is Florida, called Bad Monkey. Last year, 11 episodes. 10 episodes? 10 episodes. All right, you are patting Monkey Baby right now. I forgot how to do this.
I feel like this is harder with much
is-
harder with
yeah.
the baby. What was I just gonna say about Vince Vaughn? Oh, I feel like I've heard good things about that Freaky movie though.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, anything to say, baby?
He's like choking. Just having a little spit up. I know. Gotta get it out.
This is gonna be a very freeform episode. I'm not editing this, so take it for what it is. We warned you up front.
You go ahead.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Let me take a look at my list here. I'm gonna say, I guess yeah. For the first thing that I'm gonna talk about, I've been playing since having a baby. Like, I've been able to find time to play some games. It has been less time than before, but still time nonetheless. And I've been playing a game that's very popular right now called Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I'm playing it on Xbox Game Pass, which I already pay for to play games once a week with my family. So Yeah, it's included on that. Baby's making noises, if anybody can hear that. Um, yeah, it's very good. It only retails for $50, which is great. So it's like a mix between, it's like a turn-based game. It plays a lot like Persona, but it's very French, and it's just really good. The story's very interesting. The mechanics, like the combat mechanics, are very reminiscent of like the pace is like Persona, but then the like how involved you are feels like a Mario RPG, like a Paper Mario or a Super Mario RPG or a Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga type situation where, the enemy attacks you and you can like dodge it, or like you're doing an attack and you have to like hit a button at the right time. It's a lot of fun. And quick rundown of the story is that it's like it takes place in this like fractured fractured world, but it takes place in France because it's made by French people. And like, I don't know, reality breaks one day, and then this evil creature called the Paintress paints a number, and it like every year the number goes down, and anybody who is that age of that number just kind of fades away. Baby's just pooped. He just pooped again. Maybe let me put the mic up to his butt. So I guess it starts around like 100, and then it just kind of counts down. And at the beginning of the game, it goes from 34 to 33. So they kind of like celebrate this thing. I don't know if "celebrate's" the right word, but once a year they have this thing called the gommage, which is when the number gets updated and everybody who is, the next number down in age is going to disappear. And yeah, that happens. And so every year they send an expedition of people to kind of like go see if what they can do about stopping it from happening. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot of different like creatures, and there's a lot of twists and turns, and just like the story is very investing. Like the first like 15 minutes kind of hook you pretty hard, and then it just kind of keeps hooking you from there. And the combat is really, really, really satisfying and like fun to learn and develop. And there's a lot of different types of strategies that you can use, which, I don't know, it's just very refreshing. I think my only critique of it right now is that I don't know if it's just like the Xbox version, but there's just a lot of like clipping, or I don't know, it feels like the engine is kind of like the frame rate's not consistent, which kind of takes you out of it from time to time. But aside from that, I mean, it's very good. Yeah, and I've been really enjoying it. And Aaliyah just got up and took the baby with her, so I don't know what's happening. She said, "Keep going." She's gonna change his diaper. So, yeah, it's a very good game. A lot of people are talking about how it could potentially win Game of the Year. It's a front runner for Game of the Year right now. GTA 6 was kind of considered the front runner for Game of the Year because everybody thought GTA 6 was going to be coming out this year in fall 2025, but it's since been delayed to 2026 around May. So which has kind of sent ripple effects throughout the gaming industry. So a lot of people are saying like, well, I mean, it kind of changes. A lot of people were saying, because a lot of, okay, how do I frame this? A lot of game companies don't want to release their games around the same time as GTA 6 comes out because people are going to want to play GTA 6. People have a limited number of money to spend, so they're going to spend it on the biggest thing, which in this case is Grand Theft Auto 6. So it kind of sent ripple effects throughout the industry because a lot of people were delaying their releases, planning for this fall 2025 release of GTA 6, but now that's not happening, so some people might be able to move their timelines up. Or some people might have been planning for next year, and now they're like, oh crap, GTA 6 is going to get in the way. So kind of a big deal. But for, your typical gamer like me, the fun in that is just that hey, now we know GTA 6 isn't coming out this year, so the other stuff that's coming out this year has a chance to win Game of the Year. So, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, so far for me, is the best game that I've played that's come out this year, but we've got a lot of other games that have the opportunity to win this year. A lot of people are saying this game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, is pretty good. I haven't played it. I haven't even watched the trailer, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Blueprints came out this year. A lot of people are excited about that. Kind of like a puzzle game, like this year's Animal Well, they say. But then, we've got a slew of Nintendo games coming out. We got Nintendo Switch 2 coming out in a week and a half. Mario Kart World coming out. Then we have Donkey Kong Bonanza in July. Then we have Metroid Prime 4 Beyond coming out at some point. Kirby Air Riders coming out at some point. And Pokemon Legends Z to A coming out in October. Now, Kirby Air Riders and Pokemon Legends, I don't think have a shot at Game of the Year, but Metroid Prime games are super good, and it's been like 20 years since we got the last one. And Donkey Kong Bonanza looks great. Mario Kart World looks great. I don't know if Mario Kart World is a shot at a Game of the Year nomination, but regardless, the game looks fantastic. We also have Metal Gear Solid Delta coming out in August of this year. That's going to be very exciting. And there's like a whole bunch of other games I'm sure that I've forgotten about that have come out this year or are coming out this year that a lot of people have a lot of strong feelings and positive feelings about. Split Fiction being one of them. The Indiana Jones game that was released in December of last year. Now it qualifies to be the nominated for this year's Game Awards. So yeah, very, very, very exciting. Anyway, if you're at all interested in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I strongly recommend it. And I guess one final thing I'll say that I like about it is that it's like a primarily female cast. Like, there are male characters, but like, I mean, one of the male characters isn't even human. But like, yeah, it's a mostly female cast, and all of the characters are like very compelling, very interesting. Everybody's very well written. I feel like whenever I'm kind of going through the creative exercise of coming up with my own original character, she's still changing the baby, by the way. So I'm just kind of riffing off of whatever I want right now. So whenever I'm going through the creative exercise, coming up with like my own character, as a man, I tend to gravitate towards male characters, and it's kind of like a whole thing that like men don't know how to write female characters. Like, you'll see female characters in fiction, and you'll see sometimes they're used as a plot device to further the male character's story, or maybe sometimes they're like over sexualized, or there's just a million different versions of female characters being poorly written because they were just written by men who kind of didn't really think their female characters through. And I think I've realized I don't even know how to like write stories, but I will say like writing a compelling female character for me is hard. But I guess I also just find myself kind of gravitating towards like, I don't know, wanting to create some like male character that I like see myself in, right? So I guess all this to say that the female characters in Clair Obscur Expedition 33 are really well written, and I applaud the people that were involved with writing those characters, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of made me realize like how you can make interesting characters across the whole cast, especially, which feels like a very big deal for an RPG like this. A lot of RPGs are like Japanese RPGs, and then there are good female characters in Japanese RPGs like Persona, for example, that I've played. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like Japanese RPG female characters, not always, like, it's hit or miss on whether you're gonna get a well written one. So I don't know, just to to play this game and for the characters to be well written, very interesting, and investing in their stories and the things that they've got going on, and that it feels like you're more invested in what the female characters got going on than the male characters. As somebody who plays games, I think it's worth pointing out, it's worth bringing up, it's worth applauding, and I hope we see more like this. I mean, there are games with female protagonists, some of which are to serve a male audience, and I don't feel like these characters are made to serve a male audience. I feel like they're made to serve the story, and that's what it's all about. She is still changing the baby, so go play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's quite a mouthful of a name, but it's very good. It does a lot of really good things. You can there's even little obstacle courses in the game to unlock extra outfits if you want. I mean, the movement in the game isn't even designed to be phenomenally stellar, but they threw these obstacle courses in anyway, and it's actually kind of fun that you can do these obstacle courses with kind of janky movement, which makes it hard, but it's not impossible, so you kind of keep trying and you do it anyway, and it feels reminiscent of, I don't know, RPGs of old, and I appreciate that quite a bit. I'm trying to keep it focused on Clair Obscur right now and not just move on to the next thing that I want to talk about, because I want us to keep switching between. So yeah, she's still changing baby. What else do I like about this game? Just consider this my official review. I'm 20 hours into it. It's supposed to be 32 hours. There's a good twist at the end of Act 1 that's worth talking about with people who have seen it. And in general, it's a very good game. And baby's back. Cool. All right. Hello. How's it going?
Give me 1 second.
Oh, we still need 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. The game's just really good. It's got a lot of things that you like to see that you don't feel like you normally see anymore. You can find alternate outfits and put them on your characters, and you can customize what they look like a little bit, and there's a lot of customization and world travel. Anyway, it's just very fun. It feels like they took all their favorite things from all the favorite RPGs and they put them in, and it just doesn't feel like you get to see that anymore, especially when the game is made by 30 people instead of 300 or 3,000 people. So yeah, it's Critical Darling, and it's very good. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not move on from my thing, so I just had to keep finding things to say.
That's okay. My pants are completely wet, and I was like, is it pee? Is it milk? I'm 100% sure it's pee, but that's the baby life.
From the baby?
Yeah.
Okay. No, not from me.
Not from me.
All right. You have the floor.
I will talk about 2 movies, and I'm grouping them because these are movies I did not enjoy. The first being Baby Girl. It came on, what is it, on Max now? Or it's on something, maybe Prime. And I don't know, I just I got nothing from it, I guess. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's a movie with Nicole Kidman. And I don't know.
I got nothing from the trailer, by the way.
Yeah.
You kept saying you wanted to see it.
I did want to see it because I was intrigued. So yeah, it's Nicole Kidman, and I don't know, I forget the guy's name, the actor. And Antonio Banderas is in it, and I just that's the thing. I was not convinced. I was like, you're telling me that Nicole Kidman's gonna have an affair with this young man when she's married to freaking Antonio Banderas, the greatest of all men.
The guy's name is Harris Dickinson.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people, I guess, maybe they enjoyed it. I just was I was kind of bored. I was kind of uninterested. And the guy sucked. So yeah. The other movie that I did not enjoy was Companion, which very similarly, I was just very bored. It's a movie with what's that guy's name? The son of Dennis Quaid.
Jack Quaid.
It has Jack Quaid in it. He has this like super advanced robot that is his companion, hence the movie name. And it turns out that he's kind of just like using her to do something. I won't spoil the movie if you want to watch it. She finds out that, you know, he's not really in love with her. She's not real. She's a robot. And yeah, it's like she tries to leave, and then it kind of becomes kind of like a hunt to go grab her.
Baby's making a lot of noises over there.
He's a noisy eater. Yeah, you didn't like it either, did you? So yeah, those are just two movies I did not enjoy. I can't say I recommend them, but if you read the book, or a while ago I talked about a book called Antibot. Companion kind of gives off those vibes, but Antibot to me was much better than Companion was. So recommend the book Antibot if you're interested in kind of like a similar thing but want a better piece of content.
What about Subservience with Megan Fox?
That's like a whole different thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Female robot companion movies?
No, because like, hold on. Here, you hold the microphone for me. You silly boy.
Making a lot of noises over there.
I know.
Anything to say?
Yeah, he has a lot of things to say. What was it called? Subservience?
Subservience with Megan Fox.
Subservience is different because Subservience is a robot that becomes obsessed with her owner. Versus this is more like Antibot and Companion are like they think they're in a real relationship, and it turns out they're being manipulated.
Okay.
So yeah, and then they're like contending with that because they're like, well, I'm a robot, but I have these feelings, and what do I do? Can I exist without this other person? Because technically I'm made for them, type of thing.
Mm-hmm,
so it's a little different. But I highly recommend Subservience just if you want a good laugh. That's a fun one.
I do enjoy Subservience.
Yeah, I got like all your friends to watch it at a party.
Yeah. It was fun. Everybody was invested.
Yeah, I was like, y'all have to watch this thing.
Yeah.
And we all did. So yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, I'll let you do the next thing.
Yeah, okay. I guess the next thing I will talk about is I watched Reacher on Prime Video. I kind of like randomly after baby was born. After baby was born, we didn't talk about this, but after baby was born, we just watched a lot of stuff. Like we had the TV on all day long, like through the night at like 4 volume. And we just watched movies on repeat, like just back to back to back to back to back. Like every Pixar movie, every Disney movie, every like Avengers Infinity War.
All of Harry Potter. All of Twilight.
All of Harry Potter, all of Twilight. Lord of the Rings extended editions.
I forgot about that.
A single Star Wars movie.
Didn't make the cut.
Well, I tried watching episode 4 in the middle of the night. And when the blasters bounce like off of walls, they cut to just a fully white screen, and it's very like strobe-y.
Yeah, it's too intense.
And it was way too much. I was like, oh no.
That's the thing. Having a baby, you realize these things that you never noticed before, because you're like, oh my gosh, there's too many flashing lights. Like I need to take it off.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars was made in 1977, so I'll give it a pass. I feel like we didn't get more conscious of the whole let's not give people seizures thing until that one episode of Pokemon aired in Japan where like 600 kids got seizures.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a thing. And that was like in the 90s. And then we figured out maybe we shouldn't, and maybe we should calm things down a little bit.
We still do it. We just say, hey,
you might have a seizure. Yeah, we just give seizure warnings instead. No, I feel like we actually, like if you watch old anime, like I don't know, Dragon Ball Z or something, you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh my god, this is
too flashy.
Way too flashy. So where was I going with this? Reacher. I started watching Reacher in the middle of the night because we I started doing a shift in the middle of the night where I was feeding baby a bottle, and it was kind of like a 2-hour shift. And yeah, I needed something to watch that was like just for me. And I was like, well, I'll just watch this Reacher show because I was looking for something that I could be invested in, but like wouldn't be too upset if I like lost slight track of things. Baby's looking right at me. Hi, Baba. Hi, Baba. Hi. He's probably wondering like, why are you holding 2 microphones? What are those things? They're very black, which means they're high contrast. So, hi, Baba. Anyway, I started watching Reacher. It's very good. It's the character Jack Reacher, who Tom Cruise played in a couple movies. But in the show, he's played by Alan Ritchson, which some people might know as Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State, or being fully CGI'd Raphael in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies. Yeah, I always liked Alan Ritchson, so it was cool to see him get like his own show where every season of the show is based on one of the Jack Reacher books. And I mean, he kind of like, he's like a drifter, and then he like, basically he's like former military police, no longer military police, and he's kind of just this guy who can the rules. I forgot who I was talking to recently, but they basically said like the his problems his problems are not bigger than him, basically, in that like he's such a big guy and such a smart guy that like rules don't really apply to him. Like problems, the same problems that you might have, he does not have. There's no problem that is bigger than him because he is such a big guy. And that's like very indicative of how he goes about solving crimes and things. And it's just it's very fun to watch because of that. And he's also very smart. It's also like it feels lightly implied that Reacher's character is like on the autism spectrum, or at least like he displays certain behaviors that would be like considered like autism like. And it's just like he's very rigid. When he's talking to other characters, they'll say things like he's very emotionless in his responses, but he's also very like methodical, logical, and like people will like, I don't know, make a metaphor or say something and he'll take it very literally. And yeah, it's just the kind of these like small details, but it makes it more interesting. It makes the character more interesting to watch because I don't know, the way that you feel like your typical, I don't know, Tom Cruise action hero is going to respond in certain situations with like the Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt personality. It's like so decidedly not that. It's kind of, yeah, it just feels like a different kind of approach to this character archetype that we all know so like closely. And it's really good. There's 3 seasons. The first season and the third season are my favorite seasons. The second season is like okay. It's a season that kind of dives a little bit too deep into like his backstory and his origins. Like sometimes it's just more interesting to like not know about like the characters from a character's past. And second season is kind of like all about that, like fleshing out his backstory a bit more, and you learn about some of the characters from his past. And I don't know, sometimes it's just more interesting to not spend a whole season on on that in particular. I don't know, because it ended up just feeling a little cheesy, I guess. But yeah, all of it's kind of cheesy, but yeah, I would say first season, third season were great. And I recommend it. If you're like curious about it, give it a watch. The first season's a little tough to follow, I will say, but overall it's good. I think the third season might be the best. Yeah, I'll die on that hill. Anyway, Reacher, check it out.
Cool. I have a few shows. I'll start with just one of them. So, one show that I watched was the show Platonic, which I had never even heard of, never seen advertised.
What is that?
I'm not sure when it came out, but it's a show with Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, and they are friends. They like kind of fell at the beginning. They like you learn that they kind of like fell drifted apart, but they were really close at one point. And Seth Rogen's character is going through a divorce, and so Rose Byrne kind of like reconnects with him. And then they become really close again, but it's like to the detriment of like she has a family. Now she's kind of like neglecting her family because she's spending so much time with Seth Rogen. And then her husband's kind of like, are they like a thing? Like, are they like into each other romantically or no? And it's an interesting show, but I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It's a fun watch, it's an easy watch, and yeah, I don't know any other way to describe it. You highly recommend checking it out. It's on Apple TV Plus. I've kind of just been scouring any and every streaming platform for something to watch or put on in the background, and I was pleasantly surprised by this one. Oh, I won't say pleasantly surprised. I absolutely love Seth Rogen, and I like Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne together. So seeing that they were together in the show made me be like, oh, let me watch this. Let me start this. And I don't regret it. It was fantastic. It's also, I feel like, really short in terms of like how many episodes there are. I think the episodes are a bit long though.
Did you finish it?
I did. Yep. I think it's just the one season. I don't know if they'll do any more.
Oh, sorry, bumped my microphone there. On the contrary, they're actually making a second season. I looked it up when you were watching it. I think it comes out this year.
What? Exciting. I'll be watching.
Anything else on that?
Nope. Highly recommend.
Sweet. Let's see. Next thing I will talk about. I'll try to keep this one shorter. Another game that I've been playing is Xenoblade Chronicles. That one is a Japanese role-playing game. There's like a whole bunch of these games now. There's 1, 2, 3, and X, Xenoblade Chronicles X. The very first Xenoblade Chronicles came out for the Nintendo Wii in 2011, and then they rebuilt the they remastered it with improved graphics in like 2020. And now you can play basically every Xenoblade Chronicles game on the Nintendo Switch. I actually played about 15 hours of the Wii version back in college, and I really enjoyed it. And it felt like an RPG, a JRPG that had kind of like smoothed off a lot of the rough edges that JRPGs were known for at the time. And I appreciated that a lot about it when I was playing it. And I was craving an RPG before Clair Obscur came out, before I even knew I was going to play Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. I was craving a JRPG to play, and I landed on playing Xenoblade Chronicles, and so I kind of had to start things over. I mean, it's been like 11 years since I played it the first time, and I'm now like 30 hours into it, and it is very good, and it's been interesting to see how my opinion has shifted on, when I played it in 2014, how I thought like, oh yeah, this smooths off a lot of edges, which at the time was true, and now 11 years later, it's interesting to see in what ways that is still true and in what ways that's no longer true, just because games have evolved since then. But in a general sense, I have been really enjoying it. I'm invested in the story. And again, the characters, I'm not as invested in the story as I am in Clair Obscur Expedition 33 story, but in general, I'm enjoying it, and it's making me making me consider playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because every game is like a different cast of characters. I've started Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when the Switch first came out, and I don't know, not as invested in the characters, and everybody says 3. I mean, 3 was nominated for Game of the Year, and I highly considered playing it when it came out, but I was like, that's a lot of game to just play. But now that I've been about halfway through Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I'm like, yeah, like I would like to at some point most definitely play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So yeah, I have been enjoying it and will continue to enjoy it. I plan to finish it at some point. It's like my Switch game right now, which I'm about to travel across the country from Wisconsin to a wedding on the West Coast. So I'll be flying a lot, and I plan to play more Xenoblade Chronicles then. And that's it.
Cool. The next show that I wanted to bless you, that I wanted to bring up was a show that I started because I was looking for breastfeeding content. Sorry, let me take that back. I was looking for something to watch while breastfeeding, not breastfeeding specific content. I am up in the middle of the night multiple times, and I'm very sleepy. And so to keep myself awake while I feed baby, I just throw on a show. And so the show that I started out with was a show called Working Moms. Yeah, which is on Netflix. And it's a show about a few moms who who go to like a mommy group together, and they're all going back to work, and it's just kind of like their journey as they are now going back to work and have little ones. The show, while I did enjoy it for what it was, I'll say that it's not a great show by any means, but it was what it needed for just like something that I did not have to pay attention to fully, or like my sleep deprived self could just like watch easily. It has a lot of issues. That's like just like a show. It has a lot of weird kind of like plot points that just vanish, and you're like, whatever was going on with this thing, all of a sudden no one's acknowledging it. That character literally disappeared, is no longer in the show, and it's just like super confusing. And there was like one plot point that just like really bothered me because I was very interested in the character's kind of journey, and all of a sudden she disappeared, and she was like a main character. So I Googled like, what the heck happened to this character? Like, why did they get rid of it? Did she get fired? Like, what happened? And it turns out the actor just like wanted to take on like a different, like she just wanted to like try different other things in her career or whatever. And so they, instead of like making a good write-off for the character, like she just literally vanished.
Wow.
And it was like, pretend she never existed. And I was just so confused. I was like, I don't know who. I mean, I hate to be negative towards the writers of the show, but I think it could have been done a bit better if we're going to remove characters, or like even with characters that still remained. Like one character, she was just a mess and had no character development, and also just like, I don't know, it felt like all of her scenes became irrelevant because she was no longer like close with the other girl, like the other women in the show. So I was like, why are we still even showing her? Like, she feels unimportant at this point. And her scenes were just kind of frustrating. But again, overall, like I said, it was what I needed for just trying to stay up in the middle of the night. And so yeah, I can't complain too bad, but I also can't say I recommend it as a thing to invest your time in, because there are quite a few seasons. So
I mean, there were times where I would kind of sit and watch it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, like I was following characters from like season to season somewhat. I will admit though, I don't know, maybe you don't need the man's opinion on a show called Working Moms, yeah. But I was a little surprised that it got as many seasons as it did.
Same, especially with all the issues that I just mentioned. Like, it is quite surprising. I mean, I did the two kind of main characters who are very close. I wish the show really just focused on them and didn't have these kind of sort of like other tangential characters, like, because I think they were interesting, and their like family things were interesting, but I don't know. I just wish I wish it had been better, because I like the idea of highlighting different moms' experiences going through postpartum and like going back to work. Like, going back to work is a fear of mine, and I'm lucky in the sense of like I work from home and I'm only working part-time when I go back until I move over to full-time. So I'm lucky in that sense, but it's hard. Like, I'm like worried about it because I'm like, this is hard. Like, right now my time is with my baby, and I don't know what to expect when now that's not my full priority, I guess. I have other responsibilities. And so yeah, I like that the show like had a mom who was kind of going through postpartum depression really bad, a mom who like really loved her career, and the hard thing was like deciding between her career and her family, or like the mom who was like had a older daughter too and was just like overwhelmed because now she has 2 kids, and she ended up getting pregnant, but was like, I don't know if I can do 3 kids, you know, like it was, I don't know. I like the idea of highlighting different experiences. So it's just a shame that it kind of went off the rails after like the first few seasons.
I think like notably it's a show that's all about its premise, right? Like
Yeah.
it's about moms who are working. That's why it's called Working Moms. But it's a show that's all about that. It's not necessarily a show that's about like, oh, here's this important plot thread that we need to follow. It's really just like every episode is like, here's just more life for these characters, which, like, I don't know, that's kind of like what sitcoms are, right? Like if you watch New Girl or something, it's not like you're like, oh, well, I mean, you might be like, oh, I'm so invested in, like, I don't know, Nick and Jess, yeah, but like, yeah, I think that or like, yeah, I don't know, it feels like Scrubs or something. It's just like, yeah, there's not. You're just kind of following like how the relationships between the characters like shift and change. Personally, I'm like looking for more. I don't personally watch a lot of shows like that. Every show I watch, I feel like I'm watching like, this episode is continuing the story of the last episode and all of that.
Yeah,
so.
but that's exactly what I didn't want, because
You don't want to have to like follow.
exactly, like when I'm with baby, I'm constantly like, oh, he needs a diaper change, oh, he needs this, or I'm like playing with him or whatever. So I'm not fully paying it, like the things are just playing.
Right. That makes sense.
And like also in the middle of the night, I'm going in between waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping. So then it's like if it's something I have to follow, I'm be like, what was I watch? Like, what did I see at 3 a.m.? I don't remember. You know? So it's like I needed something that didn't require a through line, like that didn't necessarily like, because there's probably a solid season I really didn't watch. It was just on, so those are like the kind of show, and that's what I feel like about Platonic too. But Platonic does way better. It's a way better quality show. Is that like you can kind of miss an episode or like not fully pay attention to an episode, and you're still good. You're not missing too much. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the content I've been trying to look for. While I'm taking care of this little one who's making a lot of noise today. But yep, that's that.
Gotcha. To your point about the written off character, I feel like there's 3 different versions of this, right? Like there's the actor is no longer available, so you just kind of do like a quick like write in that like off screen, like why they're no longer there. Like, I don't know, Black Panther 2, for example, where Chadwick Boseman passed away, so they kind of do like a off-screen death, but it's important to the story kind of write off. And then there's like the Lost version of this, where on Lost, like 2 of the actresses got like DUIs, so they wrote them off, but they didn't. They
For
like
a DUI.
I don't know. It was. It's weird.
I mean, not to condone DUIs,
I know.
but like there are actors and actresses who have done way worse and still getting jobs.
Well, it's interesting because one of those 2 was Michelle Rodriguez, who like still works a lot, but they sorry, spoilers for Lost, but they kill both characters off in the second season, but like they don't give them off-screen deaths. It's just like their deaths are important to the story. They're just like written. It's like, oh, okay, like, you're fired, but you have to stick around for us to film your on-screen death.
I'd be so bitter. I mean, I guess I could. And then I'd be like, I guess I did get a DUI. But.
Right. Then there's this version of it, which is like, yeah, I just don't want to do this anymore. And then they're like, all right, let's just erase that character.
Yeah. Like,
it's just, I don't know, probably my least favorite way
like,
to go about that.
I didn't even realize. It was like a few episodes went by and I was like, where is this like I haven't seen this person in like this many, which like how some show, like sometimes when like an actress gets pregnant and they kind of like disappear for a whole season and then they come back and you're like, oh yeah, they were like, what happened to them? Like they just they weren't there. And that's what this was. But then like she never came back. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're just done with her. Like, what happened to her character?
Yeah.
And she was the character who had postpartum depression. So I was like very interested in hers because I was like, she was like the deep part of the show, you know? Everything else was like kind of light, kind of comical, but she was like the actual serious part of it who was like really going through something. So yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Gotcha. Anything else?
Not for that. You can go with your next one.
Okay. I think I briefly talked about this before Baby came, but I watched both Devil May Cry animated shows that exist. There's like an anime from 2007, I want to say, that exists, and then there's a Netflix, like, they would call it a Netflix anime, but it's American produced, so I guess I would just call it like a Netflix animated show, also for Devil May Cry. And I'm a big fan of Devil May Cry. I talked a lot about Devil May Cry at the beginning of the year episodes because I was just playing through every freaking Devil May Cry. So let me put the kibosh on Devil May Cry now, so I'll never talk about. Oh, please.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But before I forget, because my brain doesn't work half the time.
Okay.
Are people in Japan very particular about what gets called anime, or is it just you specifically that's like, this is not anime?
It's okay. It's not me specifically.
Well, is it the fan base that's more particular about it?
Yeah, I don't know if people in Japan are very particular about that, but like I think I think it's an important distinction to make because there's a clear like stylistic difference in how it feels like something is made and how something feels like it's representing its story. Like there's clearly, like you look at anime, like I don't know, My Hero Academia, that is clearly anime versus Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like where Avatar: The Last Airbender does have a lot of Asian influences in its story, clearly, but it's clearly like a Western produced show. And you can just kind of like tell in every single facet of it, like, and that's where the distinction is important.
But I feel like in regular, like in anime, there's also distinctions in art style. So it's
it's not just art style. It's like
why can't there be different? And I'm just asking out of curiosity.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a semantic argument. But
yeah, like why can't there be like anime that's from different places? You know what I mean? Like.
I guess like people would call, there's been like a lot of Chinese shows that have been coming out that like, the quick hand version is people just say like, oh yeah, this Chinese anime, or like Solo Leveling has been popular, but it's like originally Korean. So, people would just call that like a Korean anime.
Right.
So I guess you could call the new Devil May Cry show like an American anime.
Yeah.
Hi, Bubba. He's looking right at me. Hi. And he's burping. Anything to say? Oh, he just spit up. But then he swallowed it.
Oh, no. There it goes.
There it goes. Oh.
That's why he's being so wiggly. He's got it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the term anime is not necessarily the most important thing. I think where it was made, though, is important.
For sure.
And I think when people refer to anime, they're typically referring
to
something that was created in Japan. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, because they invented it.
Yeah. I guess I was just curious as to like what the conversation was for, like if Netflix is like, categorizing Devil May Cry as like, because when I look at Devil May Cry, I'm like, oh yeah, that's anime. But that's because I'm not, I'm not as maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not as particular about the.
Right.
The distinctions.
There are people online who are really anal about the distinction. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's not that important. But like when Netflix makes these shows, they'll be like a Netflix anime, and you'll be like, okay, well, this like Greek gods show that was made by Western animators, like I don't, it doesn't feel like anime. I guess it feels like a Netflix anime. In that it's, I don't know, like there's
like Beastars. It's like,
but that so like Beastars is released on Netflix, but it doesn't feel like a Netflix anime. Like it feels like an anime that would it feels like an anime that would exist regardless of whether Netflix was the one to be releasing.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I like for you to be like, well, this one doesn't feel like it's Netflix, but this one does. Like it's just like I'm like, why? Like that's why I'm like, I feel like anime is the right term because like I don't know, it's like in Japan, like there's different types of anime. They're all like none of them are really the same.
I mean, yeah, there's different like genres and whatnot, but like.
But you haven't seen like there's like I'm sure there are shows you just haven't seen because they're not what you're interested in that have a particular that like are distinct from maybe the anime that you are in that you have watched.
Sure, I guess my point is like, you can look at it and you can tell if it was made in Japan or if it was made in America. Sure. Like you can just.
But like when
you look at it and you can tell that as a viewer is like you're conveying one style over another style.
But I feel like when I mean again, this is because I'm not I guess as deep into the anime as maybe you are. But like when I see it, like you watch Devil May Cry and I'm like, okay, that kind of reminds me of like Cowboy Bebop. Like in my mind.
See, here's where this is important. I watched both Devil May Cry shows, one of which is an anime produced in Japan, and the other one which is a quote-unquote Netflix anime made by Western animators. So when I look at the Japanese anime Devil May Cry from 2007, that one reminds me a lot of Cowboy Bebop.
Gotcha.
Now when I look at the 2025 Netflix show Devil May Cry, that to me feels more like I'm watching like a DC animated show, like a Harley Quinn or I don't know, Batman the Animated Series or Young Justice or something like that. Yeah. Like it just feels distinctly different.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe I just was looking at the old one that you were watching, and I just didn't know the difference.
I mean, I was switching between, but like you can look at both and be like, oh, these are way different.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, between the two, like if I were to recommend one, maybe neither. Like they're not that good. I think I enjoyed the old one more for the vibes in general. But you can tell the show doesn't have a huge budget. And then the new one, you can tell does have a budget, but the story is just like, I don't know. I just wish it wasn't the direction that they went in for like representing Devil May Cry in 2025. Because it's just the themes are different, the characters are the same, but the themes and the world and the setting is all different. And going back to my point about like poorly written female characters, one of my favorite characters from Devil May Cry is this character named Lady, and she is like she does kind of like play a little bit into like the angry woman with the short hair trope. But she's still, in like Devil May Cry 3, when they introduce her, she's still a compelling character. She has a compelling narrative and character arc. And I was invested in her character when I played Devil May Cry 3. Now, when I watched the Devil May Cry Netflix show, it's like they turned the anger slider all the way to maximum. She's dropping F-bombs every single time she talks. And it just feels like this is a poorly written female character that was written by a man who was like 15 years old. And it's not good. And everybody agrees like the way they characterize that character is bad. I mean, is she a strong female character? Yes. Do people talk like she talks? No. And it seems like, like a 15-year-old version a 15-year sorry, a 15-year-old boy's version of like, oh, what would a cool girl be doing? And like, it's bad. It's not good. Like it's really not good. So yeah, that's how I feel about that show. So yeah, if you're a fan of Devil May Cry, like a hardcore fan, you're like, I want to watch everything, then yeah, watch both of them. But if you're like a fan of OG Devil May Cry, watch that OG anime just for like the vibes. And it's, it's 2000s anime vibes. And then the new one, I don't know. I mean, I guess I hope it like breathes more life into the series so we can get more games, but I like they're making another season of the show. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not like Devil May Cry fans on the internet do not like the show, and I'm one of those people. Yeah, I don't. And it's very American centric, and there's just a lot of things. I have seen some great memes about it though, where there are these like songs from Devil May Cry that have these lyrics. There's this one song where called "Bury the Light," where there's a line that's like, "I am the storm that is approaching." And it's like in the chorus of the song, and one of the characters at the end of the season, it's like revealed that he's there, and that's his theme song, and he's like, I'm coming, Dante, for I am the storm that is approaching. And everybody just clowned on how stupidly written that was. And then a whole bunch of memes came out that's like Devil May Cry 5 if it was written by the guy who wrote the Netflix show. And it's like the two characters having discussions where they're just like dropping lyrics from different Devil May Cry songs to just like make fun of the fact, like there's a not famous, but like one of the oldest Devil May Cry songs is called Lock and Load. And it's like there's this one video where they're having a conversation. It's like, Dante, why are you've been locking and loading a little too much or something. And it's like, it's just making fun of like just how stupidly written this Netflix show is. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Goodness. Okay. The next piece of content, which is probably my favorite thing that I've been watching, and that is Great British Baking Show. I know everyone got super into this over the pandemic. I was not one of those people. I didn't watch it, but I had heard about it and knew about it. And then once I finished Working Moms and I finished Platonic, I was like, okay, I need another good show to watch, especially in the middle of the night when I'm feeding him. And I was like, I really want something that's just like very calming, just like very sweet, very like I don't want a story or anything like that. I just want something kind of relaxing. And so then I decided, there's a few seasons on Netflix. Let me go put it on. And I've been hooked. I like can't stop watching it. It's like reignited my love for baking. I used to love baking. And then I stopped because like who had the time, and also I was lazy. And now I'm like, I want to bake stuff. I want to get back to it. So I've watched, I think I'm on my third season. I'm on season 8 because on Netflix it starts at like season 6 or something like that. So I think I'm on my third season. And I just get so attached to these bakers every season. It's like every season passes and I'm like, oh, I'm sad it's over because I really love these people and I want to keep watching them. And then I'm like, I'm not going to feel the same about the new cast. And then the new cast comes and I watch one episode and I'm like, I have my favorites. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I get excited about the new cast. So yeah, that's been my current middle of the night watch. It's been fantastic. I'm enjoying it. We were, like we said, out of town this weekend, and all I could think about was I can't wait to have a moment of downtime to put on Great British Baking Show and watch it.
Nice.
So yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's, reality baking show. Highly recommend. I'm sure everybody has already seen it. But yeah, that's that.
Nice. I've been playing the final game that I have to talk about that I've been playing recently is Pokemon Heart Gold, which I'm playing on my phone using the Delta app. And I own this game, so it's okay for me to be emulating it. Yeah, Pokemon Heart Gold is, I don't know, many people... Oh, baby's crying. Is he okay?
He is. I think he's just really gassy.
Yeah.
It's not coming out.
Yeah.
And so he's not eating like he usually does.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah,
There we
so
go.
I've been playing Pokemon Heart Gold. I have 7 badges. Pokemon Heart Gold, it's a second generation Pokemon remake game. You go through the Johto region, and then you go, which is a second generation region. Then you go through the first generation region, Kanto. So there's 16 total badges. I have 7 so far. I chose Cyndaquil as my starter Pokemon, and it hasn't even evolved into Typhlosion yet. It is still a Quilava. It's like level 30. Let's see, what Pokemon am I rocking right now for the listeners? Yo, what's up, Ryan? If you're listening, hey, what's up, dog? This part's for you. I got myself I got a Quilava. I have a Poliwhirl. I'm thinking I'm rocking a Poliwrath, though I was looking at Poliwrath's stats and was not impressed, so I don't know if we'll stick with that one or not. I got an Ampharos. Can't go wrong with Ampharos. Let's see what else. I have a Dratini that is like level 24, still getting up there. A lot of experience required to evolve or to level up a Dratini. Let's see. I have a Dratini. I caught Togepi, I hatched Togepi, and now he's a Togetic. I think I'll evolve it into Togekiss when I can, but that doesn't seem to be anytime soon, so I'm going to replace him. Just last night, I evolved my Eevee into Umbreon. I love Umbreon. It's cool, perfect character design. It's got defense stats through the wazoo. It's a tank. Love it. Let's see. Yeah, Poliwhirl, Umbreon, Ampharos, Quilava, Togetic. I have a Pineco, which I'm going to evolve into a Fortress. And that thing is not very good. It's actually a little rough trying to level that thing up because it's not very strong, but it's got a lot of defense. And anyway, Pokemon Heart Gold, it's just a lot of fun. I'll probably try to get a Mamoswine at some point, Ice Ground, round out the team. Anyway, I've just been enjoying it. I've only played through Heart Gold once when it first came out, and it's like, it is indeed really good. So I've been enjoying playing it again on my phone with the fast forward function, so I can just kind of get through it a little bit faster. The game in general just feels faster. And I've just been really enjoying it. If anybody has a grass Pokemon that they recommend I be using, I would appreciate that because I could use a good grass Pokemon right now. Because Ampharos is the only thing I got against water types, and one electric Pokemon is not enough to take out water types. You need at least one grass Pokemon. Or at least that's my mantra, is that you need at least one grass Pokemon. So, I could totally use a grass Pokemon recommendation. Let me know if anybody's got one. Sunflora is a cool Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure it sucks. Same with Bellossom. I just don't know if there are any strong grass types that generation. Anyway, yeah. Looking forward to playing more of the game. I plan to play it all the way up until I face off against Red, and I plan to beat him. All right, that's it.
The last thing that I have on my just like solo content is actually a book that I've just started. I've been like half reading books since maternity leave. It's been hard to kind of get through a book. I will say the reason why it's been so hard getting through a book is because I have been trying to not buy books and instead go to our public library or like use my Libby app to download books from the public library. And they, of course, have a specific time limit in which you need to read the book. And right now I just can't read books very fast because I have a whole baby to take care of. And so I will get a book and like get through half of it or like 75% of it, and then it's time for the book to be due. And if I can't renew it, then because someone else is waiting on it, then it's just kind of like, well, I got half of it. I got the gist of half of it. So I bought a book while we were out of town because I was like, you know what, let me just buy a book. This can be my book to read before I go back to work. And it is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I've read a few of Grady Hendrix's books. We got to see him in person. We went to a book event where he was at, and yeah, I'm excited to really dig into it. I think it's, I won't say relevant, but it's about young girls who have gotten pregnant before getting married, and they're sent to this home specifically for unwed pregnant girls. And I'm assuming there's going to be some witchy stuff going on. So we'll see how that turns out. But so far, it's not a bad read. I'm only like 10 pages in, so cut that with a grain of salt. Take that with a grain of salt. I keep saying like cut that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that is the second time you said that recently.
I know. I'm telling you, I have one brain cell after giving birth. I literally cannot do anything properly. So yeah, that's that. And that's the last individual thing I have. I have a few things we've done together.
Got you. Let's see. I guess the last thing that I will talk about is I guess I'll talk about the comic book related stuff that I watched. I went and saw Thunderbolts. It was very good. Definitely recommend. It's definitely one of the better Marvel movies that I've watched in recent memory. It's just like a fun watch. I highly recommend it. I'm not gonna like promise that it's gonna change your life, but you're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, yeah, like why can't we have this for every Marvel movie? Like why can't every Marvel movie feel like this when you watch it? Yeah, it's just very good. It's investing, and like, I don't know, it doesn't feel stupid like Captain America Brave New World did. Aside from that, I finished Daredevil Born Again. That was a very good show. Not a lot to say about it other than it was good. I enjoyed it. Interesting to watch that show with the level of production quality that it has compared to like the original Netflix Daredevil show. It's just like they feel distinctly different, but this just kind of feels like an evolution of things, which is cool. I did finish The Boys season 4. It was better than I expected it to be. I don't know, just kind of got through it. I always kind of forget, like, I don't know, I always feel like I don't want to go back to The Boys every time a new season comes out, but then eventually I'll like be in the mood to watch it and I'll be like, yeah, that was good. But then a new season comes out and I'm like, I don't know if I want to like be exposed to all that again. So yeah, it's interesting. Finished Fallout. Fallout was good. And lastly, I will say, The Penguin. I watched all of The Penguin, which follows the DC Batman villain post the Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman, his like rise to becoming like, I don't know, the Gotham Kingpin. And the show was very good. I didn't think it was perfect. Some people on the internet seem to think it was perfect. I don't think it was perfect. I think it was in some spots a little far from perfect, but in general, it was a million times better than I ever expected it to be, and I'm glad that I finally got to watch it. And the end, I think in particular, was really good, very strong. Anyway, that's all.
Cool. Should we rapid fire things we've done? Wait, things we've seen together?
Yes.
Okay. I'll start with shows. We watched we're watching The Studio, which is another Seth Rogen Apple TV Plus show, where he's a studio head. What is he?
Yeah, he's a studio head.
Studio head. And it's very stressful, but I'm curious to see where it goes. And very great quality, and I like the aesthetics of it. Everyone's outfits are just. It kind of feels like everyone dresses kind of like, I feel like 70s Hollywood.
Yeah, it feels very like dressed like 70s Hollywood.
Yeah, but it's like modern day.
Modern day. Yeah,
which is like, I don't know, very cute. And then like it's like kind of got this like very brown
tones.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. So I'm excited to keep watching.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think like a lot of people just know Seth Rogen as like a comedic actor who like, you know, took over comedic movies for like 7 years. But Seth Rogen has been working behind the scenes on a lot of different things. He's been a producer on a lot of stuff. And him and Evan Goldberg, his like longtime creative partner, have co-directed a lot of movies together. Like Superbad was one of them. This is the End, another. So like Seth Rogen has always kind of been like, he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife Hollywood person. So
yeah, he's fantastic at everything he does.
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
he touches.
So the studio, I think, like as their most recent project, feels like they are so uniquely equipped to make this kind of show that's all about
the ins and outs of Hollywood.
The ins and outs
something.
of making, Hollywood projects. And because, like, he distinctly knows everything about that, and he's a very funny guy, while also, like, the show is, like, extremely well filmed, well acted. They've got tons of different cameos from a whole bunch of different people. Martin Scorsese.
I was saying Martin Scorsese is literally just...
Yeah. Ron Howard, Martin Scorsese, Steve Buscemi, Anthony Mackie. What's that actress's name from Past Lives?
Constance.
No, dang.
Oh my gosh, what's her name?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's gonna bother me.
She's got one of those names that she shares a first name with somebody else, distinct. We'll come back to that.
It's gonna bother me so
That is gonna bother me. Like, yeah, she's great. Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. Definitely recommend if you're just if you know anything about directors in Hollywood, producers, anything like that. If you just love movies, watch that show. Or if you like Seth Rogen, just watch it. It's fun.
That's wrong. He needs a nap.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay, let's wrap this up quickly so we can get him calmed down a little bit. We also started The Last of Us 2 season 2,
which just had its season finale last night that we haven't seen. We haven't seen the last 2 episodes.
Which is insane because I found this season incredibly boring, and I'm like, it's already over, nothing happened. Like, I'm just like so uninterested. Okay, baby. Okay.
I think it's like obvious that the first season had a much easier time of like being really dense and compact, of like all the best story beats from the first game. It's just very well structured. I can see exactly where they're going and why they're going where they're going for this second season, having played the second game. And I can fully understand why that would not be as compelling as the first go around.
Yeah.
More to say on that after we finish it.
Yeah. We also have been watching The Rehearsal, which is Nathan Fielder's second show on Max, where he like rehearses these things. And I gotta say, like, the first rehearsal was like, it was kind of like, what is this for? Like, what? Like, it was just, I don't know. It was just so like random. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, this time he came with like a mission.
It helped me to understand the first season of The Rehearsal, to know that COVID happened like partway through, which like significantly impacted things.
Right.
Which like explains a lot, because I was like, what? Huh? Yeah. When we watched it.
Yeah. But this season, it's like he came with a mission. And like, honestly, it's like a solid mission.
I'm like pretty invested in it.
Yeah. I'm like, I think he's figured it out. I'm sure he has not figured it out, the whole issue with like our airlines and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's about pilot and co-pilot communication in the cockpit, and how it might help solve aviation
like
crashes. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like this is actually pretty solid and still humorous. Like, I don't know how he made something that's like both important and serious and like actually kind of well researched like silly at the same time.
Yeah.
But like he like
at the same time, you'll still watch him like pretend to be a baby and get lifted up on a crane wearing a fake diaper and like pretend to be breastfed by this like giant paper mache woman that's like Captain Sully Sullenberger's like based on his life. You have to watch it.
Yeah. And like, but you're still totally bought in, and you're like, he's going to
Well, except
change
for
the
that
world.
part. That part you're like, well,
yeah,
this
that
is
part's just silly.
I saw there's been a meme going around lately or a meme template that's like, I forgot this was the whole point.
Yeah.
And like that came up, it was like, I forgot this was the whole point. He's like, yeah, like the whole point of the show is to be a comedy show, but at the same time, like you're so invested in
But that's the thing.
whether he can actually make a difference.
That's the thing. He manages to do something so ridiculous as that, and then in the next second, so like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
I see where he's going with it. Like, you know, it's just like, I don't know. He just does a really great job of balancing, I feel like, something that's like actually an interesting conversation to have and something just absurd.
And then doing something totally silly in the middle of it.
Yeah. It works. He's a genius.
For sure.
The other thing that we have watched is a few movies. So Piece by Piece, which is the Lego Pharrell movie.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I mean, as much as I acknowledge Pharrell is an absolute legend and has done amazing things in his career, I can't say I was that interested in knowing more about his like upbringing and like how he got to where he is. So I don't know, when this movie was like being advertised, I was like, I don't need to like go rush to see it. Like, I don't really care to learn more about Pharrell. I just like knowing that he's the legend he is. And then we watched the movie and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was just so, it was not one, it was brief. Like, it was, you know, he just hit the highlights of his life.
I feel like it could have touched a little bit more of the lowlights and that it didn't. It kind of skipped over certain parts. I don't know. I feel like, because it's only like 90 minutes, I feel like it could have used an extra like 10 minutes to just kind of fill in some parts.
Maybe, but I also feel like I also kind of like that it didn't, because really what I care to see is like, how did he get connected to this person?
Right.
How did he get connected? How did he develop this song for this specific person? And I feel like it hit all of those. Like, it's like, okay, here's how he met Gwen Stefani. Like, here's how he got hooked up with her. Here's how he got hooked up with Snoop Dogg. Here's how he got hooked up with Kendrick Lamar. Like, it just like boom, 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 boom.
Right. But then it's like, oh, but then he kind of hit this slump. But then, oh, he's back again, and it's like he's doing "Get Lucky" with Daft Punk. But they don't say anything about how he met Daft Punk and what that process was like at all. It was just like, and then this song came out. Remember that? Woo! And then everything was good.
But I also kind of didn't need to know, you know, like in my opinion,
as a Daft Punk fan,
yeah,
I
was like,
needed to know.
Maybe you're biased because you love Daft Punk, but like for me, it's like, oh, I didn't realize that he had this slump, and like. And that one guy was like, yeah, that once during this slump, like, this is the worst song I've ever made with him. Like, it was just terrible. And like, I was like, oh, I didn't know that happened. And then he's like, you know, I got out of that slump. And for it to be with Daft Punk, and it's like Get Lucky, which is like one of my favorite songs from Daft Punk. Like, I was never a huge Daft Punk fan, but that's like a song that I absolutely love.
I mean, that's a song like most people know.
Yeah. And it's like, wow, that's how he like got back. That's how he got his groove back.
Yeah.
And that's like all I needed to know. I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know the conversation, because probably the conversation probably wasn't that interesting. It was probably him meeting Daft Punk, and then they'd be like, we should work together.
Yeah, I mean, I as a Daft Punk fan, I know the story somewhat, but you know, I guess,
yeah,
they can't just show Daft Punk talking to him. So how do you convey that through music? I guess.
Yeah, it's like that's a Daft Punk movie.
Whatever.
But yeah, so I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was perfect, especially being that it's in Lego form.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something kids can enjoy, so it didn't need to be long. Like,
yeah.
It's a good movie for the whole family.
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be, yeah.
Yeah. We also watched Conclave because there was a conclave and we wanted to prepare.
I don't know about prepare just so much as
I wanted to prepare.
I just wanted to know, like, what are they doing right now?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we wanted to learn about it so that we knew what was going on. And I am surprised. I actually really enjoyed Conclave.
It was good. It was really good.
The Conclave.
It felt like watching Survivor Pope Edition.
Pope Survivor.
Yeah.
And then when like the real thing happened, and wasn't there like a news article about like some like
there was like people scandals.
Yeah, and we were like, oh snap, the tea, the drama.
Yeah.
It's happening. So it made that much more interesting. And then the last and probably the best piece of content that we...
Well, wait, before we get into that, I want to mention one that you didn't write down, which is The Pit.
Oh, yes. We watched The Pit. I very much enjoyed The Pit. And
I would say best show I've watched all year. Personally. I mean, what other shows have you watched this year that you would say like, oh yeah, that was better than The Pitt?
I guess that's fair.
I mean, The Pitt, I think it was just so well done.
It was, and I was super invested.
It's like it's an ER show. It's 15 episodes. Every
episode is an hour in the day.
Yeah, and the whole season is one day. So it's like you're kind of following, like just from beginning to end. Like it doesn't really like skip forward in time at all. It's just like, all right, first episode, here's the beginning of the shift, and then all right, last episode, here's the end of the shift, and so much stuff. It's like they packed in every freaking medical problem I could think of.
Literally, it's like you're on episode 2 and you're like, it's only noon, like it's only 11.
No, episode 2, it's 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're like, it's only 9 a.m. I'm exhausted. Like, how are they surviving?
Yeah, I think episode 1 is actually like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then they do 12-hour shifts, but then, you know, there's something happens, so they got to work overtime, and so they end up working until 10 p.m. 7 to 10.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, how do doctors do it? Especially ER doctors. Like, it's quite. I would never want to work in an ER.
Yeah.
And honestly, it gave me appreciation for it. You know, I've been to the ER as a patient, and you know, it takes a while, and you're like, what the heck is taking so long? Like,
they had a character that was upset about that too.
Yeah, and then watching the show, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying that. If I'm ever in the ER again, I'm not gonna complain, because I'm over here with my little migraine when like someone came in with their leg chopped off,
right?
Or like 20 people have come in for this one reason. And so let me give some more respect to those who are they're just trying to work as fast as they can, doing their job. So gave me a newfound appreciation for ER doctors and things.
Yeah. All right. And then the best thing that we've watched,
is Sinners.
Yeah, Sinners was really good.
Yes, luckily my mom came and babysat for us, so we could go watch Sinners, and I was dying to watch it. And it was just fantastic.
It was phenomenal. It felt like as close to perfect and as close to like telling this story, but then also being like not taking the 2025 being made in 2025 of it all, so to speak. It just felt like coming up with like it felt like an original idea.
Yeah.
And a very like well produced with lots of money original idea.
Yeah.
And it's just like it just fully represents the kind of movies you don't see getting made pretty much ever.
Yeah.
And it made you wish that studios would like just make movies like this.
Yeah.
But it feels like Ryan Coogler's like uniquely equipped.
You have said that like 3 times.
What, uniquely equipped? Well, some people are just uniquely equipped to do certain things, and then they're doing them, and you gotta love it. You love to see it.
I think it speaks to, and not to get on this like soapbox, but I think it speaks to like having diversity in Hollywood, because like you get innovative ideas, you get like new takes on stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just.
Well, what I was gonna point out is like there's not a lot of writer-directors in Hollywood, and the few that there are, you're like very interested in like what's their next project gonna be.
Yeah.
But Ryan Coogler is one of the few writer-directors who has also produced or directed, written, and produced these very high-budget Marvel movies, which are kind of like these studio vehicles, but also like he's been also given a lot of like creative control with how he tells those stories. And so he himself is like a writer director who knows how to make a movie on the highest budget possible. And then when he is like now not making one of those studio films, he's making his own movie with, you know, Marvel movie money.
Yeah.
It's like it speaks to like just how good movies really could be.
Yeah.
But they're just like it's not considered like a safe bet to make a movie like that. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, to me, it's like you need diversity, and like they need to be given a budget. Like, they need to be given
Right.
money and full control. Because, like, you think Jordan Peele's created some fantastic, innovative stuff.
Right.
Like, John Chu has done a great job with the movies that he's done. Like, you have Ryan Coogler, who's doing an amazing job with what he does. So it's like,
I mean, John Chu's not a writer.
no, but but still, he's created beautiful movies.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I think, yeah. I'm gonna end there.
No, I mean, for sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I look at, I don't know. Like if James Gunn decided to not make a comic book movie and to make like a original script, high budget movie, I don't think I would be that interested in
It's
it.
like, what would
But
that
he
be?
makes. I think his style is like perfect for what comic book movies need right now. For like, you know, this to like properly adapt this new DC universe and whatnot. But like, I don't know. Like, Ryan Coogler feels like he can make those big budget movies, but he also still has like an artist mentality.
Yeah.
And that is like what makes him so uniquely equipped.
Yeah.
Can you hold this real quick?
Yeah. I don't know. I loved it so much. It's just like, I don't know, like making a Jim Crow era movie with vampires. Like, who would have thought? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't always love watching movies that are like set in like Jim Crow era or anything like that, because it's just sad to see. And the movies are always sad. Like, it's always about the terribleness of it, which, like, yes, highlight that. It is terrible. So it was very refreshing to get a movie that like highlights the terribleness of it, but also has vampires. Like, it has like that horror element, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's an added layer of scariness to what's already a scary situation.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I just thought it was fantastic. I like just want to buy it, because I feel like I need to buy it, because I just like need to have it always on hand so that I can always watch it and refer back to it whenever I want.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yep.
Loved it.
The music is fantastic.
The music
too.
is like really good.
Oh my gosh, that like young
There's a lot of
guy who
music.
sings,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
his name is Miles or something like that. Because I've been
Yeah.
listening to the soundtrack. His voice is beautiful. The guy who plays Cook in Skins, I was so excited to see Cook.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I think it's Jack or something.
Even
like
the vampires got good.
yeah, like
got
folk
bangers.
songs. I
Yeah.
was like digging the folk songs. I was like, this is eerie, this is scary, but I love it. There's like a song called like Road to Dublin that he sings. That was fantastic. Like the sequences where they're like dancing and stuff in the bar. There's a particular scene. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Look out for this.
I think
particular scene.
everybody who sees it
Yeah.
knows exactly.
Yes.
They're like, whoa.
Just
like, my mouth was like
amazing.
wide open. Watch. I was like, holy
And like
crap.
musically, how were they able to do that? You
Yeah.
know, like it just like it all came together so beautifully.
It was just so cool. It was
Yeah.
like you can't help but be like, oh my god, I'm watching an original idea. Like,
I'm watching a
there's-
masterpiece.
There's not a lot of that out there.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
and
like-
you know it when you see it.
It's like, stop giving me the Marvel, stop giving me the Mission Impossibles. Give me more of this.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
I mean, you know, if stuff like this was coming out all the time, I don't think you would be able to identify it as easily. That it is as good as it is.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? We gotta have the bad stuff in order to recognize how good the good stuff is.
That's true.
And I think this is, you know,
Yeah.
there just haven't been a ton of great movies this year.
Yeah.
And this one is like, well, all right, well, how about one of the best movies ever made?
Yeah. I know. It's like, now that we have a little one and it's very, very hard for us to get to the movies, it's like,
We have to be really picky.
Yeah. I'm not going out unless it's a movie like this. Like, that's a lie. I'm literally going to see Lilo and Stitch.
See,
I'm
like,
taking baby with me.
I will wait to watch Lilo and Stitch when that is streaming.
It's more so to get out of the house. Our movie theater does these like baby day showings
Yeah.
where you can take your baby because they turn the lights up and they turn the volume down. And I figured Lilo and Stitch was a safe one. He has little headphones if he needs it. And so in order for me to get out of the house and not go insane, I was like, you know what? I'll take him to go see Lilo and Stitch.
So like I want to watch the new Mission Impossible. I want to watch the new Mission Impossible movie. But like, you've seen it already, right? There's a new Jurassic World movie. Like, you've seen it already. The Ballerina, the John Wick female movie.
You've seen it already.
But like, okay, here we go. F1. The Formula One. No, okay. Well, it's Brad Pitt, the director of Top Gun Maverick. So it's like Top Gun Maverick
with cars.
Seen it already. I want to see, but like, so there are just some movies where it's like, okay, like I know that maybe I feel like F1 is going to be good. Honestly, I do think it is going to be good, but there are some movies where you're just like, I gotta go watch that in the theater, and then there are others where it's like I can just watch that at home. Lilo and Stitch, I can watch that at home. F1, I gotta have it on the biggest screen with the loudest sounds.
Oh my gosh!
And I gotta hear the.
Waking up the baby.
Whatever. Wait, what did you say?
I said you're waking up the baby.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You just said whatever.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I think you just like, you have a baby. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I know I have a baby. If I see this movie, I'll see it. If I can't see it, that's fine. I accept, like, your life just kind of has to change around your baby's schedule when you have a baby. But you don't really mind it that much.
Nope.
Because you just want them to be happy. All right. Anything else?
No. That's it.
Okay.
Solid.
Yes. We covered a lot of ground here. Hope you enjoyed listening. We had no content no assignments to discuss. We just wanted to sit down and record, kind of pressure free, just see if we could do it. I mean, I think we did it, but yeah, baby had a lot to say throughout.
Yeah, I think he's just a little sleepy, and I think, we're doing a lot of talking and making noise, so
yeah,
he's struggling to get down for a nap. But
yeah, we'll see if we're able to do this again anytime soon, but for those that were waiting for an update, I hope you enjoyed.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.